Hello there. So I got the TP-Link Wi-Fi 6 AX3000 Archer AX55 router here. The names, just the names. Oh, God. Wish they just made it simpler, right? Okay, so this one, well, says it's super fast Wi-Fi, and it gives you up to 3000 Mbps. Of course, it's probably some kind of marketing fluff that they always give all these speeds, but basically, yeah, we'll be testing this, and this is the cheapest of the bunch. I believe in Amazon right now it's 114.99, $115 basically. Its highest is $129.99 and its lowest is $114.99 according to the Honey app basically. So this is the cheapest from the routers that I'm testing, and we'll see how it goes. So let's get through the unboxing, the menu system, and the data that I was able to pull for this router. Okay, so this is the second contender. It's the TP-Link AX3000 Archer AX55, and it's also a Wi-Fi 6. I think the new one is Wi-Fi 6E. It does have a mesh capability, though I am not interested in that. Router, our old router, the one I'm replacing, was able to cover our space here, so it's not that big of a place. So I'm not really worried about mesh unless we move to a bigger place, like a way bigger place anyways. Okay, so let's open this one up. So see that Wi-Fi 6 AX3000. Okay, so what's in the box? Well, we'll see. So okay, oh, lots of papers. So install guide, I'll read through quickly on the install guide later. So you have the install guide, Wi-Fi info cards, nice sticker. So I guess you could put your username, password here, and pretty much put it here, and then everybody who needs access could access your Wi-Fi. Okay, Wi-Fi 6. Okay, so that's update driver, some kind of instruction for older versions. So, okay, their packaging is nice. It's very compact. I think I like this more than the Netgear packaging, because this one, this is the router with the antennas attached. It's not removable like the Netgear. My old one has attached antennas too, but it's very compact and thin. So their box is actually pretty good, economical. I like that. I think companies should kind of be more that way now. Okay, that's it. Simple. You got the router, you got cable, you got the power supply, and let's look at the router. So look at this. So as you see here, okay, oh, it looks very sleek. Lights, LED lights here. And we'll see in the software. Normally as much as I want to, I'd like the lights off. Generally I'd prefer it to be off. So it's flat, and it's just moving the antennas here, there. So multiple movements. So they are there, but TP-Link, then the glossy finish. Then you have the lights here in front. Okay. let's look at the rear. So you have the power button here. Oh no, Wi-Fi reset, WPS Wi-Fi, the USB slot here, the network slot here to connect to the modem, and then your 4 LAN ports, and then you have the power button here and the power plug. This actually seems heavier than the Netgear. Let's check. I mean, weight doesn't really mean it's quality, right? But it feels heavier than the Netgear. We can always check. Okay, it's 529 grams. Okay. Okay, 529 grams for the weight. Okay, so I'll just set this up and then run through the test I'm doing and sample and see if this wins choice for the router I'll be using going forward. Okay, so we're gonna go to the TP-Link Archer 55 for their router menu. Basically, you either go to the 192.161.0.1, or you can go to the tplink That would take you to the menu. So, oh yeah, just to make sure your cable is connected to the one of the LAN ports. Okay, here is the start of the page. You'll enter a password, and I did do a reset, so that's why we're going to start from the beginning. The firmware for this one is updated already too, and they do have an automatic update firmware schedule, so that's nice. Okay, so just put in the password. So then let's get started. So time zone, just select whatever, since this is just a demo anyways. So basically, if you have a modem, you'd put it in, so you'd be connected. I don't have any modem connected to it right now. We're just doing a demo. So I'm just going to skip this. Enable Smart Connect. I disabled this basically. So what this does is it let TP-Link decide if you're going on the 2.4 gigahertz or the 5 gigahertz basically. So I actually disabled this one, and then I put in I set each band separately, and then I'll put in the values for them. So for now, let's just use that as a default. So here, if you see this, it does have the automatic update to the latest firmware, which is great. So yeah, turn on auto update, and then you select the time. And then here you'll see your 2.4 gigahertz and 5 gigahertz and the IDs. The password here is here too. So for your wireless setup, so it's fairly easy basically to set this thing up. The only thing actually I did have some issue with is it automatically sets mesh devices on, which I don't think it's really needed. So when you go here to the advanced area, so this also has an app, I think. I'd rather not used to, try and play around with it. I'd rather have just set it all up and then leave it alone and let it run. So here, OFDMA is disabled. I believe I did enable it. Smart Connect, of course, is disabled. So I enabled it, and I think I did notice some speed increases, basically. Okay, so we have that here, and then I'll just save it. USB, I don't use that, like what I mentioned previously. And then I turned this one off because I didn't think there was any, I'm not doing mesh device anyways. So one router actually covers our area here, basically. So I'm happy with that. Go into the system, you see the firmware update, you will see what scheduled firmware you have is here. And then firmware is up to date, it'll say what build. And then you could update it if you have issues doing the auto update. It'll just update you could get a file and update it here. So backup and restore for the config. Now admin. So okay, reboot. So this is one good thing too. You could set a reboot schedule here. So it's either every day, every week, or every month. So maybe every week should be good enough. So LED control here. So you could turn the LED status off. And then you could even put in a night mode. I didn't try this, but I did select this LED status off. And then let's see. You know what? Let's do a save and see what happens if when I reboot this, it turns the LED back on. Okay, the LED lights are off. Now here, it's a router, so it's a router setting. So unless you're turning this into an access point, then the one mesh, yeah, I did disable this. I'm just going to leave it alone for now. So that's basically it. The main part is setting up the wireless. So it's kind of, you have to enable this and then make sure you're not using Smart Connect. I prefer it separately anyways. I'd like to know what I'm connecting to. And I think I even had to select this one. I gotta remember, but yeah, it's better. I mean, it's easy to set this up, but I had to, I think, test a couple of settings here, change them, and then run them again to see what speeds, well, what are the faster speeds that I'm getting, basically. Okay, so let me do a reboot and let's see if it keeps the LED lights off. Okay, so it did keep the lights off, so which is great. So I don't know why last time I thought, oh, it could have been the update when the firmware updated. So everything got changed back to default, possibly on the other pieces on the admin side. So the lights turned back on. That might have been the cause. So okay, it rebooted and the lights are off. So that's basically it. So just go to advanced and set your settings up, and hopefully with this one, because of their auto firmware update, so their auto scheduled update here, and then you have the auto reboot here and the LED control turning the lights off. Hopefully you don't have to touch and change anything with this router anymore, basically. Okay, let's move on to the next topic. Okay, so let's check the data on the speed comparison between the TP-Link and the old Asus router that I have. So if I'm still using the same devices, the work PC, which has the fastest Intel Wi-Fi 6 right now, we have that one here. And then we do have the iPhone with a 2x2 MIMO 802.11 AC, and then the Surface Pro with a Marvell wireless AC. And of course, the old tried and true wired PC with the Realtek Gigabyte LAN controller, which is probably old, and I don't really trust it to download the fastest speed as we've seen from the last data set with the Netgear nightHawk. Okay, so here you could see that there's a big increase compared to the old one. Not as big as the nightHawk, but you would see the speeds for pretty much all of them except for this one, which is a 2.4 gigahertz. I just placed it here because I wanted to pull the 2.4 gigahertz bandwidth here too, but my interest is the 5 gigahertz, so they all did increase. So the TP-Link does beat the Asus RTA CRH13 router, my old router. And then percentage wise, you could see the percentage change from the Asus to the new one. You'd see it's a 40% here. So yeah, that's fairly good, but still the speed here still, I was expecting more because it's a Wi-Fi 6, right? They were touting 3000 whatever Mbps or whatever, but it's it didn't even get close to the 900-ish number that I'm expecting for a Wi-Fi 6 router. And then on the iPhone, 5 gigahertz on the near area, which means these were tested in the kitchen, which is close to the living room where the router is. Did get 35.81%. So I did notice, similar to the Netgear, that the iPhone, having the newer wireless card 2, was getting more increase from the newer router. So it had a 35.81 increase, which is great. And then on the farther end, it did just get a 5% increase. Still, it's probably because of the distance, but then it's still good. And on the far area too, even the 2.4 gigahertz, it's 22.30%, but it's still, I mean, I don't really use this here at home. I'm using the 5 gigahertz band. So the Surface, it's pretty much maxed out, so it's getting like 4.9% increase compared to the old one. So yeah, that's still good. So we're still getting an increase. But yeah, to sum it up, to compare it with the Netgear, so TP-Link, if you could see here, right? It's not, it's not even close. It's not even close here. Not even 800. The fastest actually the office PC got, the work PC that I'm using, is 800, and this is just one time. And the rest were just, below that, and that's why I got the 771. So, just to cut it short, it's pretty good, but not a Wi-Fi 6 router that I expected, and I wasn't getting the speeds that I was expecting. I would have been happy if it was tapping from maybe 850 to 900. Yeah, I would have been, that'll be, for the price, it's the cheapest by, maybe 20-30 bucks cheaper, I think, something like that. But yeah, they're touting it Wi-Fi 6, but I didn't see that on my setup. So it could also be my setup or the settings I had, but then I did tweak it to try and get the fastest speed. So yeah, I mean, I actually tweaked it more than the Asus and the Netgear, basically, to get the fastest speed. It was easier on the Asus and the Netgear to find the fastest configuration, basically. So for the iPhone, this is the fastest speed I got. And for the Surface, this is the fastest speed I got. So all in all, yeah, that's it. Well, let's just go to the conclusion. But yeah, definitely I won't be choosing this one. Okay, so after all of that testing and everything else, so for this router, basically, let's start with the bad. So the bad is a Wi-Fi 6 speed doesn't look great. I mean, I didn't get to even close to the 900 Mbps that I got from the Netgear nightHawk, and pretty much, yep, definitely that's the biggest piece, right? Then now for the price, it's the lowest of the Wi-Fi 6 that I tested, but I think it should be less than $100 for this type of performance, personally, for me. I mean, I know everything's inflated right now, all of the, the chip, the shortage, and all of that. So maybe that's why it's $115. But it is, it is faster than my previous one, right? So it is still faster than my previous one, but I would say still not Wi-Fi 6 speed I was getting from the Netgear nightHawk. So I would probably say it's, price wise, it is the lowest from the bunch. And if you have this, if your rated speed is maybe 500 to 700 Mbps for your internet speed, yeah, sure, why not? If you're not planning to, if you're not planning to push it to the max speed anyways, because you still get a bump for the devices. You see the data for the iPhone and the Surface. There was still a little bit of bump, right? It's not big, especially on the Surface, because it's the Wi-Fi card there is older, but the iPhone and probably Apple products, the iPads, I didn't test it in my wife's iPad, but I would think it would still get that bump from upgrading the router itself to get the better speeds. But yeah, definitely won't be keeping this. So that's the bad. And the good, though, that's, I think the part of the good piece is also the price in a way. If you're looking for Wi-Fi 6, but you're not really getting a service that's about a gig, maybe, yeah, you could consider this for the price, unless of course the other routers are closer to it. Right now, I think the nightHawk is a bit more, maybe. Let's see, nightHawk is around 141, right? So if you're constrained by the budget and the speed, yeah, this one should be okay. And the good, that's also the good part. One of the best, actually. I really wish this was fast, or as fast as the others, basically, because one of the good thing here is the updates, right? So the firmware updates, they actually have auto firmware update, which is great if you just want to set it and forget it. And that's normally how I like doing things too. Like for routers, you don't want to be logging in and tweaking stuff. Once it's set, it's on its max performance, and then just forget it. It also has the auto reboot, so that's also amazing, right? So you don't have to, once you set those things, just let it run and forget about it unless something happens, or you're getting slowdowns and stuff like that. So I guess I would say, yeah, the good thing is it's the cheapest of the Wi-Fi 6. Cheapest, but you don't get the close to gig speed anyways. I think maybe the fastest I got was like around 800 something. That was it, but you're not getting the 900 like the nightHawk is anyways. And then the auto reboot, the auto firmware update, that's just great because you could schedule it and leave it alone, and hopefully it'll run till you need to replace it, basically. So that's it with this one. It also has a 2-year warranty, so this is a good thing too. I've never really encountered using the warranty in any of my routers ever since back in the day, since the Linksys, the D-Link, the older TP-Link, and then the Asus routers. Basically, I've never really used it, but in case, you at least have a 2-year warranty here. So hope this helps. Thank you.